So our next topic is the pigeonhole principle. So suppose that a flock of 20 pigeons flies into a set of 19 pigeonholes to roost. Because there are only 20 pigeons but 19 pigeonholes, at least one of these 19 pigeonholes must have at least two pigeons in it. Why? Because the pigeonholes are lesser than the number of pigeons. So at least one of these pigeonhole will have more than one pigeon. To see why this is true, note that if each pigeonhole has at most one pigeon in it, at most 19 pigeons, one per hole, could be accommodated. So here, this illustrates a general principle. What is that? If there are more pigeons than pigeonholes, then there must be at least one pigeonhole with at least two pigeons in it. So this is the pigeonhole principle. So look at this figure. So there are how many pigeonholes? 12 pigeonholes. And 13 pigeons. So as the pigeonholes are lesser than the pigeons, so if you see there is at least one pigeonhole with at least two pigeons in it. So there are two pigeonholes that are empty, but two pigeonholes will have at least two pigeons. So here are three pigeons, here are two pigeons. Similarly, for this example, second, every pigeonhole is occupied. So there will be at least one pigeonhole which has at least two pigeons in it. Same for the third example here. Three pigeonholes are empty, but three pigeonholes will have at least two pigeons in it. So you can take any example. You will get the same illustrative guideline of the pigeonhole principle. So here, what we can infer from that? So we can generalize this pigeonhole principle that if k is a positive integer and k plus 1 or more objects are placed into k boxes, then there is at least one box containing two or more of the objects. Or in terms of functions, we can write a function f from a set with k plus 1 or more elements to a set with k elements is not one-to-one. Okay? So here, first example is that among any group of 367 people, then there must be at least two people with the same birthday. Why? Because there are only 366 possible birthdays, considering the leap year as well. Next is, in any group of 27 English words, there must be at least two that begin with the same letter. Why? Because there are only 26 possible letters in the English alphabet. Third example is, how many students must be in a class to guarantee that at least two students receive the same score on the final exam if the exam is graded on a scale from 0 to 100. So as from 0 to 100, there are 101 possible scores. So according to the pigeonhole principle, there should be 102 students to ensure that at least two students are there with the same score.